Well, brushed off, ice is off. Got a nice big 5-1 Wednesday yesterday. Had some dogs in there. 5-unit love bet with the Pirates. Had a nice little outright winner with the Miami Heat. You got me on that one. Got to be feeling good on this Thursday.
Yeah, let me take a bow. Well, look, always transparent. We were a little bit cold last week. Started the week off good. Monday, 2 out of 3. Anytime I'm hitting 2 out of 3, you know that's good. We're working on the dogs. Tuesday was just it was a nightmare. I mean, it's one of those nightmare days. Blow a 7-2 and a 6-0 lead, like I said, within minutes. Bounce right back though yesterday. Yesterday's an absolute monster day. You're plus over 14 units. 5-unit love bet Pirates, as you mentioned, nailed both basketball games. Let's talk about the basketball game. How about the Milwaukee Bucks? I mean, look, I don't want to pat myself. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to pat myself. I told you guys this could be a choke. Bucks have a 14-point fourth quarter lead in Miami. Game 4, they gag it up. A game they got to have. And that's what I told you. I just felt if Miami could press though a little bit, they would choke. They did. 16-point fourth quarter lead, and they come out cold in the fourth. Can't hit a bucket. Heat slowly get back into the game. Butler comes back on the court. Jimmy, this is playoff Jimmy. This is why he's got the name.
Kudos to him.
And in the preview, I said, can Jimmy score 56 again? No. Can Miami continue to shoot 54% from the field, 48% from the three? No. But they'll do enough to keep this close. And they didn't shoot that good, and Jimmy didn't get 56, but damn near close. And making the shot, the miracle shot to put the game into overtime. What can I say? Bucks are out of the playoffs again. The best team during the year, and they're out of the playoffs in the first round. So Miami moves on. There'll be 2 banged up teams. We got plenty of time to talk about that, but you got Hero out, Oladipo out. Oladipo not big, but with Hero out, that would have been another body. Knicks lose Randall again to the ankle last night. That was our other winner with the Cavs, and we did it without Randall. Told you the last 2 games, he had done nothing hardly anyway. This was just a Cleveland Cav team that was a nightmare on offense. Knicks getting the job done. 2 dogs in NBA, 2 outright winners. Guys, I only give the games, and once in a while, I'll make a bet on like I did with the Lakers in game 1 of their first round series against Memphis on the money line. But you could always throw a little sprinkle if you want on the money line on the dogs.
I think it's in the NBA playoffs now too. I think it's 33-2 as far as outright winners covering as well. So the dogs, if they're covering, they're winning, and vice versa.
Yeah.
As far as the Bucks situation though with Miami, I mean, absolute choke job. You called that. Saw a meme. It was Budenholzer is going to be coaching the Shanghai Sharks and Dylan Brooks next year in China. And as much as the players choked that up, I mean, Budenholzer, what the hell are you doing? Multiple questionable mistakes. I mean, one, didn't have Brook Lopez in the game. You're runner-up and defensive player of the year this year on 2.5 seconds left. Most likely going to be a play at the rim.
Get all the bigs in there. What is it going to be?
Yep. Didn't call a timeout after they scored the bucket when there was half a second left. Didn't call a timeout when they get the ball back in overtime and they're down by 9 with 9 seconds left, chance to tie it. A lot of coaching errors down the stretch in the clutch as well. So choke job by the team, choke job by Budenholzer. And, gross performance there by Milwaukee.
And again, that's all the Heat had to do was just make it a little uncomfortable for the Bucks, and I thought they'd get a choke, and they did. Look, the game shouldn't have been close. Miami Heat came right out of the gate nice, had a lead. Bucks went on that run, took the lead going into halftime, opened it up in the third quarter, and the game should have been over. They've got to come out, put their foot on their throat, and end it, and go back to Miami for Game 6. Can't get it done. You're not the best team in the NBA if you can't win. Look, Miami just plays them well, and they'll move on. That's great for them. It's better for us. It's better for our members. Yep. Big night, like I said, over 14 units last night. So Monday night was a winning night, granted. We took the collar on Tuesday. Keep in mind, guys, baseball's 2-unit bets on like bets. So, yeah, we blow 6 units on Tuesday, but over 14 units yesterday. We're a head monster for the week going into today. So let's get right into today, Ben. Let's talk about the one NBA game that there is first. We'll get that way.
And
Celtics
speaking of choke jobs, Celtics 13-point lead in that game 5 they choked there.
look. This is the second best team in NBA. They started out this year as the best team in the NBA. Should have made short work of the Hawks, a team they owned in Boston. 13-point fourth quarter lead, let it go. And now they've got to go back to Atlanta. Now, even if they beat them, their next opponent is Philly, who they beat them 3 out of 4 games this year. The last game that they met really wasn't a game that Boston needed. But what's going on right now is Embiid is got a little sprained knee problem. So you're giving him more rest with every day that this series goes on. They're already talking about him playing with a brace to start the series. Remember, he missed the last game of the Nets series in the first round. So if you're Boston, you wanted to ice this back in Boston in Game 5 and get ready to get Philly and catch Embiid with as less ability as he's got. But now you go to Game 6. Could you be facing what the Bucks did after blowing that big fourth quarter lead? Now you're on the road. Atlanta's 1-2. But Atlanta split the 2 games. The Hawks split the 2 games in Atlanta in the postseason, each team winning by 8. Look, Marcus Smart's last year's Defensive Player of the Year. He's got to clamp down on Trae Young. Trae Young can't be hit. No, he's gonna pull up with these trees. He pulls up for a bomb 3 and nails it. And here we are back in Atlanta for Game 6. 29 points per game, 10.2 assists for Young. Defensive Player on the Year. Got to put some clamps on him. If he does, I see if Boston will wrap it up tonight. Just a big number. Again, another overlay. My number on this is about 5.5. I think that's the fair number. That's what the line opened. This game is now up to 7. Goes any higher, I might have to take a shot with the Hawks. To me, it's Hawks or nobody as that big home dog again.
Yeah, I lean to the Hawks in this game. Like you said, big number, Boston letting them back into the series. I don't like as much, though, the DeJounte Murray factor, him out, now coming back in. How much is that going to mess with things? They look good without him. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Obviously, he is a great player. You'd want him on the floor if you're Atlanta. As far as the Celtics, I mean, they've been playing good basketball, like you mentioned, defensively. And defense is what I talked about coming into this playoffs for the Celtics. That was their bread and butter last season. That's what led them to the finals run. Haven't seen the defense be as strong here. And both the games that we've had in Atlanta have gone over 250 points. With that, lean a bit to the over here. Last 3 meetings have all gone over in this series. Last 2 in Atlanta screamed over. And that's how the Hawks have stolen 2 of these last 3 games, shooting 45% from 3. And I think that's the only chance that they're going to have to steal this Game 6 and stay alive in this series. They're going to have to shoot the shit out of the ball. They're going to have to keep pushing tempo, not let Boston get set in their defense in the half court. Lean here to the over. I like that the most in this game. And I agree with you, John. If this line goes any higher, it would be Atlanta on the side as well.
We've got some early baseball games. And by the time you guys are actually we shoot this 11:30 each day. But by the time Ben gets it up on YouTube, going to probably be after because we got a couple of early games, 12:20 and 12:35. So those just happen to be, as of right now, my only 2 baseball bets of the day. Guys, I get red hot. You're not going to want to get it for free. Don't miss out on a bet because I didn't give out. I told you guys we leaned to the Knicks last night. Didn't give it out as an official bet till later in the night, till that game went to 6 when they announced Grimes out. To me, Grimes wasn't big enough. I'd rather have Hart starting. With Hart starting in the Game 4, they jumped all over the Cavs. That was in the Garden. And the Heat game went to 13.5. At 12, I was still on the fence with the game. At 13.5, made it a no-brainer. So while we're doing these, while you're watching these around noon or 1 p.m. Eastern, decisions are made on games sometimes too late. Today, early games, Miami and Atlanta. Miami, Alcantara on the mound last night, rolling against the Braves. Got a 4-0 lead. Figure that line is safe. That run lead is safe. Well, last year's Cy Young winner, he gives up a couple. He comes out. Bullpen gives up the rest. Braves are hot right now. Turned it right around after a tough series against Houston in Atlanta. They've won 3 straight over the Marlins, a team they usually own. Today, though, Garrett pitching for the Marlins, he's been good. He's pitching good baseball in his 3 starts. Wright is going to pitch for the Braves. This is the guy who won the most games in the major leagues last year. He starts the season on the injured list with a little shoulder inflammation. Just hasn't been, pardon the pun, right. Wright hasn't been right so far this year. The number here, 155. Marlins have been playing better baseball before coming into this series. I think they'll sneak this one out, avoid the 4-game sweep. I took 155 on this game, Ben.
Yeah, I agree with the side there as far as Miami. It is a little bit of a tough situation reading this Atlanta team. Very streaky. Mentioned it before. They go lose 3 straight, win 8 straight, lose 4 straight. And that's just how baseball goes. I mean, it's a very streaky sport. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays slugging the shit out of the ball, winning, 7 in a row. And then they drop 2 straight to the Astros, getting shut out both times. So it's just up and down with these baseball teams, especially some of these better teams. They lose in bunches. And Atlanta, I agree with you. It's a little bit of a letdown spot, maybe after taking 3-0. And another key factor here, they get the Mets tomorrow, first series of the year between them and the Mets. Obviously, last year that division race went down to the wire. Most likely will come down to something similar again this year. So this is a game they're probably looking a little bit ahead to this weekend series with the Mets. And then you have just this Miami team trying to steal one, like you mentioned. Pitching edge slightly to Garrett as of right now. Right, like you said, not right. He hasn't gotten to his rhythm for the season. At some point, I'm sure he will get back to form. But until then, the price doesn't equate to the quality of pitcher he is in this moment. Marlins are nobody. I agree with you on that game. And
I'm with the home dog coming right back with the Pirates, who was our love bet last night. Have to come right back with them in this. Curious was a real. He challenged Alcantara last year for Cy Young. I mean, he was that good. Couple of rough outings his last couple of times out. Both happened to be against the Cubs and didn't pitch great against the Pirates last year, going 0-2 with a 4.50 ERA. Pirates, they hit lefties well, batting average 285 against lefties so far this year. Pirates, all they've done is won 8 of their last 9 baseball games. Pitching here for them tonight, Keller, 4 straight quality starts. Like the way he's doing. 1 start last year, excuse me, against the Dodgers. Gives up 2 runs in 5 innings in a 5-2 win against the Dodgers. Other factors, Dodger bullpen been forced to throw 9.2 or 9 2/3 innings in the first 2 games. First game, they knocked Syndergaard out in the 4th inning, so Dodgers got to complete 5 innings, complete the game. Yesterday, as we told you, was part of the love bet. Gonsolin was only going to pitch about 4 innings. He only went 3 1/3. Again, bullpen had to pick up the rest. So 9.2 innings in the last 2 days. They gave up all 8 runs to the bullpen. So you're going to have a tired bullpen. And again, half the team is on paternity leave. I don't know what they were all doing 9 months ago. Yeah. But whatever city they were in, they were banging up. Anyway, so you've got Muncy, who's the major league home run leader right now, still on paternity leave. J.D. Martinez, he's going to sit out his 3rd straight game. He's missed the whole series with his back. Will Smith's been on the IL for about 10 days now. That's 3 of their top 6 hitters. Look, Betts and Freeman, their top 2 hitters. But then you get this kid Albin's doing a nice job. After that, these are 3 of the other top 6 hitters. So you're missing them. Rough situation with the bullpen. Urias, he's the better pitcher, and I'll give them the pitching edge, obviously. But it's not a dominating Urias over Keller. Keller much better. He's pitching good baseball right now. Pirates is a home dog. No-brainer in this one. I'm taking 143.
Something in the water in Pittsburgh right now, winning 8 of the last 9, like you mentioned. Talks of all the offseason was, are they going to trade Reynolds? Are they going to trade Reynolds? Are they going to trade Reynolds? Do they give him the contract? They give him the first, 8-figure contract or 9-figure contract they give in franchise history. That is the front office who is finally going in on this team. McCutchen comes back, and, he's looking like the McCutchen of old back when he was in Pittsburgh before. This Pirates team is feeling it right now. And like I just said before, these teams get hot, and that's how baseball goes. I'll take the hot team who won 6 of 8 meetings against the Dodgers. They won 5 of 6 last year, 6 of 8 now. It's got to be them or nobody. I don't think the price difference from today to tomorrow equates the difference in the pitching edge that there was going on. Keller has been solid. 4 quality starts. Urias lost both starts against the Pirates last year. Got to take the home dog. Agree with you there as well.
So those are the 2 bets that I've got so far. And again, guys, if you just feel you're going to catch us on YouTube, not be a member, you're going to be too late to get these bets in. But and we won't be doing YouTubes on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Just too much going on early in the day to have to do the live. Next afternoon game, Padres Cubs. You got Lugo going, and look, I didn't think he was going to make it as a starter. I got to be honest. And after the first couple of starts, he looked really good. He got banged up, but he rebounds with a nice performance his last time out. Wisniewski, not so much for the Cubs. Padres just still are, I believe, 29th in hitting. Look, they've won 5 of 7. Let me pull my stats up. They've won 5 of 7, scoring 4.5 runs, but still 29th, hitting just 216. Cubs, they've lost 4 of 6 on this homestand, scoring 5.2 runs per game, and they're 3rd in the National League, hitting 276. Bellinger, guess what? He's on paternity leave. He was with the Dodgers last year. So, again, feeds into that whole thing. But Bellinger's still out, so that's a lefty bat that they won't have against Lugo. I make the Padres. It's right around what this is, so I got no dog in this fight, Ben. Pitching edge to Lugo. Padres better on the road than Cubs are, but not enough to lay the price. I'm not interested in taking the Cubs here.
Said it before, Cubbies in the daytime. I love the Cubs in the daytime. Get them at a home price. Wisniewski has been better last couple of starts. 4 runs and 11 1/3, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. San Diego, last game of a trip here before they go home to face the Giants. Always kind of weird there in the last game of a trip. Don't love Bellinger not being in the lineup. He was giving them some good value there. San Diego has been heating up a little bit with the bats. We'll see if that continues on in this final game of the series. Can't look off the Cubs, though, just on a season read. High on that team. Will not be laying a road favorite against them, especially with not much of a pitching edge. So lean to the Cubs in this matchup. Not enough of a price for me to get on it, but Cubs are nobody.
St. Louis and San Fran and pulling on hard times right now. Giants 3-0 in this series. St. Louis jumped up 2-0 last night. That was short-lived. Giants all over them. They've outscored them 16-7 so far in the series. They've now won the last 5 meetings in San Francisco. Giants, they were playing bad baseball. Mets come to town. Giants win the final 2 games of that series. Now have won the first 3 of this series. All of a sudden, they're scoring 5.6 runs a game, and they get Mikolas, who's just been nothing compared to what he was last year. The only thing that you can compare to last year is his road struggle. Two road trips, 1 being Coors Field, so we'll take that with a grain of salt. But beat up twice on the road so far this year. Last year, 6-10 with a 4.10 ERA on the road. Webb, his stats are deceiving. 1-4, 4.40 ERA. But here's what I like to look at. I'm looking at 36 strikeouts to 4 walks. That's a 9-to-1 K to walk ratio. You can see he's got stuff. Tells me just tells me he was pitching in a little bit of bad luck. He had a better start his last time out against the Mets. He beat the Cardinals twice last year, although he had a 4.09 ERA against them. Look, this number is too high. San Fran not that great. They're going for a 4-game sweep. I'll be waiting to see the lineups on this one. You always got to be careful. Day games after night days. Who's going to get some rest here? But I just think this number is a little bit high, even though there's a big pitching edge. I don't have San Francisco rated that high. So it would be St. Louis or nobody, but I'm not jumping on St. Louis just yet.
Yeah, Webb looked a lot better his first start. The K-walk ratio has been there, like you mentioned. Prior to that, his prior 4 starts, gave up 4 runs in each. St. Louis is hitting. The pitching's just not really doing their thing. And like you mentioned, Mikolas on the road, pretty tough to back. Maybe being in a pitcher's ballpark, a little bit different here of a situation for him. We'll see if that adds anything. Cardinals lineup, they're mixing it up. They don't have Arenado behind Goldschmidt right now. Put Gorman in the middle there, trying to figure something out. They just sent down Gordon Walker to the AAA. He's been a nightmare defensively. Tons of errors the last couple of games in this series. can't back this Cardinals team right now for me. They're playing too sloppy. Don't love the price. This is one of those, though, if Cardinals get up early or if there's anything kind of like last night, wouldn't mind taking a live price on the Giants closer to even in an early game situation trailing.
This next game, this is a tough one because this is like I tell our guys. Hope my man Matt and Chris, guys that have just canceled their subscription after Tuesday's disaster. Guys, you don't want to be there for the funeral and not be there for the wedding. So I hope you're watching. 5-1, big, huge day. And this is what I'm thinking about the Nats today. We weren't there for the wedding the last 2 days. Big numbers against the Mets. They take both games. Do we go there today? Can they sweep the Mets? Just look at the numbers, and it's Nationals or nobody. Nats won the first 2 games, outscoring the Mets 9-1. This National team 7-5 on the road this year. They're playing winning baseball. Hitting .299 against left-handed pitching. Yes, these are not misprints. .299 Lucchesi, obviously a lefty. Mets lost 4 straight, as we mentioned. Lost the last 2 at San Francisco. Come home, lose the first 2 to the Nats. This series, 9 for 63, batting .142 against National pitching. They're just not getting the job done. Williams used to pitch for the Mets last year. He's done a decent job. 2 starts. He's allowed 3 runs in 11 1/3 innings. Lucchesi, he pitched a real good game for the Mets. Held the Giants to 4 hits, 7 shutout innings. Just too huge of a number here. It's Nationals or nobody. We'll look for the lineups again in this one, Ben.
Lean to the under in this matchup. You have 2 pitchers who've been going decent. Like you said, with the Mets struggles, already mentioned earlier with Atlanta getting the Mets. So obviously Mets get Atlanta tomorrow. They're looking ahead to that. Maybe a little bit of revenge after they stole the division from them last year.
Don't know if they're looking ahead after 2 losses, though. That's always one thing where, if 2 wins, great. 2 wins. This would be a love bet on the Nationals. And again, I'm sorry, Ben. Let me just get back up a little bit. This is why we can't do the podcasts the night before we know baseball games. We talked about it yesterday. Talked about how in Game 1 of the Laker-Grizzly series was our biggest NBA bet of the entire year. We took 3.5 and then pressed it at 4.5. Well, yesterday's game was 4.5. Same 2 teams, different situation. And that's the difference here in this game also. So that's why, again, we need to – what happens the night before has so much to do with today. The Dodgers bullpen going another 4.2 innings last night, 4 2/3 innings, giving up 8 runs, has more to do with what goes on today. So I just wanted to throw that point home. Excuse me, Ben.
No worries. So this, as far as completing the sweep here for Washington, I mean, yesterday we had a lot of opportunities for sweeps. So it was Cincy the only one who pulled it out. Brewers snapped it. Guardians snapped it. One more I'm forgetting. So as far as these opportunities, it's not ideal backing the spot there to try to go for the sweep, but I would lean to the Nats here. The price is not worth this much. Washington's playing really well. Nats or nobody, lean to the under as well. Don't think we're going to see a lot of runs in this matchup.
Oakland, LA. Should we even waste our time talking about this one? All right, look, Oakland, just how this could be an all-time worst team. They're looking for like 1962 Mets records in fertility. They lose 11-3 last night. They've now lost 11 of their last 13. They're going up against right now. Ohtani's just absolutely lights out.
Ridiculous.
He's major league leader in ERA. What does he got? He had 38 Ks in 28 innings. Only allowed 2 runs so far this year. He threw 6 shutout innings against the A's earlier this year. 109 ERA in 4 starts against them last year. Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge number. Just can't no way want to take a shot with the A's here, Ben.
Yeah, big number like you mentioned. Ohtani playing out of his mind, hit a nice little home run last night. He's already even money on the season to win MVP here in the AL, plus 100 this early in the year. Just ridiculous, the pace he's setting, everything pitching and hitting. Don't want to go against it. Granted, he did pitch great against the A's earlier this year. Angels did drop that game. They didn't get any offense going. You got to get offense going, got to get run support. But this A's pitching, I mean, they're giving up like an all-time record as far as runs per game, almost 9 runs per game. Don't want to bucket.
That ace going. Sears with a 4.98 ERA is basically the A's ace.
Yeah.
One thing I will mention that I didn't mention, be careful that Trout don't sit out. Maybe they get him a day off in a day game after a night game, figuring, hey, we got Joey on the mound. Don't need Trout. Maybe we can get him a day off. That's not official. It's just something that I'm watching.
Then we have Baltimore at Detroit, John. This Orioles team keeps on keeping on. They've won 8 of 9, get the win yesterday against Boston. Another one of the winners on the day. Hayes questionable there for Detroit. They had a nice little win streak, been a little bit bumpy since. They did win 2 of 3 at Milwaukee. Teams just met last week in Baltimore. Orioles won all 3 meetings. Tigers did win a 5 of 6 last year. You might have a little bit of a revenge here. Gibson, he's been solid. 3 of his 4 starts been quality starts. He's been a great pickup there for the Orioles. And then start against the Tigers, he allowed 1 run and 6 1/3. And then you have Wentz going 2 of his last 3 starts, give up 11 runs and 11 1/3. Don't want to be backing this Detroit team with Wentz on the mound. Lean a little bit there, but I need a lot more on this price. I think this price is underwhelming. So I think it's Orioles or nobody just because the price is a bit short with this big of a pitching edge.
Yeah, Tigers, they took 2 out of 3 at Milwaukee, but still a dead last. Hitting 216. Orioles, they've won 8 of 9. They're red hot. You guys that have been following us, I've been on the Orioles since the beginning of last year. This team, their stock is rising. I'm not bucking this trend. Gibson's been a nice pickup, pitching much better since coming over from Philadelphia. Wentz is garbage. I don't know how else to put it. I can't sugarcoat it. No reason. Look, you guys know I'm on Detroit often. I'm on the bad teams often, especially as a nice home dog. This is just not a spot against the red hot Orioles team.
This next one, John, inviting for the home dog. You have Rays at White Sox. Rays not as dominant on the road, but still just playing lights out. They have been coming off a game where they got shut out twice. White Sox also coming off getting shut out twice, but they've lost 7 straight. They're 2-12 their last 14. Really tough to back right now. They're hitting 150 this week. Woo! Yeah, absolutely embarrassing. Rays, they won all 3 meetings earlier this week in Tampa. White Sox did win 2 of 3 in Chicago last year. Good pitching matchup. McClanahan versus Cease. McClanahan been dominant. Cease not as much as last year. He's usually a guy that starts slow too. As the year progresses, he tends to get better and better. So we'll see if that continues for him. I like the under in this game. 2 teams coming off 2 games, not scoring. White Sox just not hitting in general. 2 dominant pitchers. Under or nothing for me in this White Sox game.
Yeah, this matchup got me last week in Tampa. We took Cease plus 170, got into extra innings and got walked off. That was a huge number, I thought, and the White Sox hung in there. But since then, they haven't had a W. They've got no hitting, as Ben just said. $150, is that a real number? I mean, I gave you the Mets, and they're batting $142. That's in 2 games. This is a bigger sample size. They're just not hitting. You still got Anderson out, Moncada's out. Robert's been in a horrible slump. They moved him down in the order. So even with Cease on the mound, who he only went 4 innings, I believe, that last time out at Tampa. Took him a lot of pitches to navigate the lineup. The number's the right number. And you would normally say, it's got to be a spot. Cease pitched like a monster last year as a home dog. White Sox just not winning. Again, I don't want a team on a horrific losing streak. Tampa Bay, after being shut out twice, though, coming up against a good pitcher. But they just saw him the last time out, and he had a little rough time, like I said, navigating the lineup. The line's the right number. Would have to go higher. Would only have one interest in one way. Would only be the White Sox with Cease on the mound. But numbers got to be higher. It's the right number right now.
We have KC coming off a series at Arizona. They're going now on a trip to Minnesota. They got caught running into that Zach Gallen buzzsaw yesterday. Got blanked. Lost 2-0 there. They're 2-4 on this trip right now. 2-10 their last 12, playing really bad baseball. Twins coming off a loss to the Yankees. Snapped a win streak. Still scoring right now, though. 5.3 runs per game their last 4. And this is just a division battle that Minnesota owns. If Minnesota's going to contend with Cleveland in the division, you absolutely have to take care of business in home games versus KC. They swept them earlier this year at KC. They won 8 of 10 in Minnesota last year. Greinke, not a good pitcher on the road. So couldn't really argue here to back Kansas City. No way, no how. It is a monster price. would lean a little bit to the run line. I wouldn't lay that money line, run line or nothing for me in this one for Minnesota.
No, same thing. Again, just as Ben said, Greinke not good on the road. Greinke 0-4, 407 and 5 starts versus Mini last year. Mile threw a nice game his last time out for Minnesota. Casey's a horrible team. They're on the road. They're 28th in hitting, 28th scoring runs. Even at this price, no reason to take KC right now.
Pitch clock, did it save Garrett Cole? I mean, he's been looking back like the best pitcher in baseball like a few years ago. 4 of his 5 starts been quality starts. Last 2, 14.2 shutout innings. And 2 starts versus the Rangers last year, both quality starts. 19 Ks, 1 walk. Really don't want to buck what he's been doing right now. He's up there with Ohtani and Gallen as far as being most dominant in the season so far. Heaney, he's been solid, though. Last 3 starts, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned, and 16 innings pitched. K-walk ratio really up there, 18 Ks, 7 walks. He's getting up there with the strikeouts. This is, you want to bet the home dog a little bit with the Rangers as far as the price. The bats are hot, but then they lose 3 straight to Cincy. Still scoring. Pitching's not doing as much. Can they keep scoring against Garrett Cole and red-hot pitching? Yankees, the bats wake up yesterday. Would be a lean to the Rangers. Slightest lean there. Don't want to get involved, though, and go against what Cole's been doing here.
Yeah, also, you got some injury issues. Jung and Jankowski both left the game yesterday, which was a tough break for us. The only loser we had was Texas, which was we got walked off in the bottom of the 9th, so it was a tough L. But we lost 2, Jung and Jankowski, as I said. And you got to remember, Seager is already out. He's been out for a while. Texas Rangers, highest scoring team in the major leagues. Tampa Bay just got shut out back to back, and now the Rangers are the highest scoring team. They've got to get more than 3 runs for us yesterday, just to get back there. We had our shot early in the game, bases loaded, nobody out situation. Came out of that game empty, and it wound up costing us. 2 guys questionable. Cole pitching like a monster right now. What I will tell you, we'll be watching out for Aaron Judge. Judge had a slide, not a perfect slide, rolled over on his hands. Told everybody he's fine after it. Who knows if Judge maybe gets a day off? We'll be looking for that. Cole, don't want to buck Cole at this number if Judge is in the lineup, especially if Texas is going to be shorthanded. We'll be this guy's, again, this way, the line movement and the lineups, who's in the line, who's out of the line, we make those determinations as the day goes on. Look at yesterday. Once we'd already bet the Pirates early in the day. When the lineups became official, that again J.D. Martinez would also be out, that Reynolds would be in for Pittsburgh. We took that bet and we pressed it, making it a love bet. So this is what you're going to miss if you're not actually a member.
And last game on the card, John, we have Mariners Phillies. It is a day game though, so it's not the night, but it's the one interleague game we have going on here. Seattle or nobody. I actually really like Seattle here. Borderline love bet. Price has creeped up a bit. Phillies go to Houston tomorrow. A little bit of World Series revenge they're looking at. And then you have Kirby going here for the Mariners, coming off 3 quality starts, 5 runs and 18 1/3. Strom, last 2 starts, 6 runs and 8 innings there. A lot of Ks, though. 17 Ks, 5 walks. He's been pitching decent. Mariners are nobody. I mean, you got World Series revenge. They have dropped their last 2 of 3, but they were coming off a little win streak before that. And just clear as day, look ahead there for Philly. It's up there as big as a look ahead can get in MLB.
Absolutely. And also a big come-from-behind win last night, down 5-2, battle all the way back, take the lead in the 8th, and then close that game out. So this is what we call a sandwich game. Same type of thing as in basketball. Come off a big win, looking ahead to tomorrow, as Ben said, is the World Championship, World Series revenge. It's Seattle and nobody. They've got a clear pitching advantage with Kirby on the mound.
And that's the baseball card, guys. Make sure you guys keep on tuning in here. We will be bringing these to you in the early afternoon. Going to try to have these up by 12:31, give or take. And like John said, because we're doing them early, a lot of day baseball. Make sure you guys go check out the website, howtobeatthebookie.com. Make sure you download the app if you haven't before. Check everything out on Instagram. And John, big Wednesday. We got to keep it going here on a Thursday, huh?
Let's keep it going. Let's make some money.
Let's make some money.